Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to Card Making Project 540. Now in today's project we're going to be making a gorgeous card, and it's all about layers, lace layers. We're going to be using the new lace border die set and embossing folders from Griffin and incorporating a few other items. Now the card itself is very 3D and there's quite a few layers on it, but it looks so impressive. It will make anybody think that you are a professional card maker. Everything I do use I should put in a detailed list on my blog, so please be sure to check it out. Please remember that I put extra photos on there and all the details of the extra items as well. You can always find me on Facebook, on Twitter or Instagram, my personal favourite. And just say hello, tag me in your photos, let me see what you create. So don't forget to give me the thumbs up if you enjoy the project. Please share with your crafty friends. And I would just like to say sit back, relax and have a look at today's gorgeous project. So for this project we're going to be using one of the 22 clear birthday stamps from Griffin. This one in particular, it says happy birthday to you. Now if you haven't got this set, because it's an older set, it was in the UK and across the pond. If you haven't got this one, there are sets that you might have got that's newer in your stash that you'd be able to substitute it for. It just so happens I'm using this one. We're also going to be using the lace border embossing folders and the matching die set. We're going to be using the pleated lace embossing folder. There we go. And then we're going to be using the matching dies. And out of the matching dies we're going to be using the large die and the shadow frame, and we're going to be using this one as well, both the ornate layers and the shadow layers. So there's quite a bit of die cutting in this, lots of layers, so if layers aren't your thing then this might not be for you. The card that we're going to use is, for our base card, is a 7x5 inch card. For my friends across the pond, a 5x7. I'm going to just use my bone folder to make sure I've got a nice sharp score along the edge, because it gives the crease a nice professional finish and it just stands up nice and solid when it's on a mantelpiece. I've already used my handmade stamp for the back of the card, added my name so that if I give my card away, the person who receives it will know who's made it. Now we're going to do the inside for the card as always. But I'm just going to put the card to one side because I want to show you how I'm going to make the insert for it. I've taken a piece of ivory cardstock and I've used the happy birthday stamp, and I've just inked it slightly in the middle just to give it a little bit of a different colour tone to the ivory base that we've used. And then I've used the scraps from something that we're using for the front. You remember I said we were using the shadow dies and the ornate dies? Well, these two edges that we're going to use are the edges from the die cut I've used for the shadow layer for the front of the card. So I'm not wasting anything, and I've cut them just to fit, and they're going to sit around the stamped image that we've just added. I've got double-sided tape on the back, and I can match it up edge to edge on the side of the card, and the stamped sentiment will fit perfectly in between the die cut shapes. So this is a great way of using what you don't use when you've die cut, if that makes sense, because it just sits so well around that stamped image. And now we can add that to the centre of our card, and it makes a great insert. I've got double-sided tape on the back, and I can pop that inside the card. There we go. Press it down, and that is our insert complete. How pretty does that look? And I've not used an excessive amount of extras, just a stamp and the edges that you would normally put in your scrap box. So now we can turn our attention to the front of our card. I'm using my bone folder again to make sure I've still got that nice sharp crease along the edge. Now the base for the card is one of the damask papers from Anna. I haven't cut it down, I've left it at the same size as it comes out of the packet, so to speak. So it's 7 by 5 inches. And I'm going to just add this to the front of our card. So it's going to sit perfectly on our card and cover the front of it. There we go. Next, this is where I've embossed, and I've used the embossing folder and then I've cut it out. Now there's quite a lot of fussy cutting for this one, but it works, it really does, and that's why I say this is all about layers. And I just think if you've got the patience to cut that out, it looks so pretty. I've used the gold satin cardstock from Anna, and this is just on flat tape. So this is the base of our layers. So this is where it's all going to start for the card. So press that down, and then that is layer number 1. So layer number 2 for either side of our cards is the lace borders. I've used the same damask paper for the shadow layer, and then I've die cut the ornate layer in gold foil. So on the back of the shadow layer we've got flat tape and 3D foam along the ornate edge, and then on the ornate layer I've got flat tape and 3D foam along the edge. So then we can put the shadow layer underneath the ornate layer. Now I'm doing this in the air. At home ideally you would do this flat. So the two layers will marry up like that. And you can see how the top layer is a little bit raised to the underneath because of that 3D foam. And then we can add this to our card over the previous layer, the edge of the embossed frame, like that. And then we're going to do exactly the same for the other side. Add one on top of the other, like so. Again, you'll be doing it on a flat surface. And press down, and then we can add that again to our card front, and hopefully it's roughly about the same distance, all being well. Next, the middle section is the larger of the dies, the full panel of lace. I've cut it out of the damask paper again, and this is where the waist came from for the inside. I've got this on 3D foam, and I'm simply just placing it down the centre of our card, so the previous layer just pokes out a little bit along the edge. And then the ornate layer is on 3D foam. Now this time I've used the satin cardstock, so we've got a contrast between all of the layers. This is on 3D foam on the back, and I'm just going to position it over the top of the shadow layer, like so, and press it down firmly so we can see how all those layers go together. Next, I've taken one of the crown embellishments, and to finish the card I've got a sentiment as well from the crown embellishment sticker set, and I'm just going to simply add the embellishment just under those two little sections on the crown floral embellishment, and then I can add, just tweak the greenery onto the sticker that I want to try and get straight. You'll still have the backs on things at home, so it might be a little bit easier. There we go, so that's that side, and that's the other side. And then we can add our embellishment to the front of our card. There we go, with the positioning where we're happy with it, or we can keep tweaking it until we get it as straight as we want it to be, and then pop that onto the centre of our card over those layers, and that is our card finished. How gorgeous does that look? Those gold layers just work so well, and it's just so pretty. Stands up perfectly. Now it is going to need, I would say, a good size envelope, maybe a big fat mailer. We haven't had those in this country, I don't think, but it would just, oh, it would look so great on any mantelpiece. And I like the contrast between the golds and the pink and the green. That just works so well. Everything I use, I should put on my blog. I know I keep repeating this, but I'm always asked, oh, what did you use for this? What did you use for that? There will be a full list on there. Please give me the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this. And I know sometimes you don't like the layers being covered up, you want to see them, but sometimes we have to cover some of the layers up. And I think this is kind of a good compromise, where you see the majority of the layers, but you're getting the effect as well. So I'd like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.